Welcome to the Discourse Analyzer AI Toolkit, where articles come alive. You're listening to the audio version of our article. For the full text and an interactive experience, check out the link in the description below. Interact with any selection using our AI assistant to enhance your understanding. Let's explore.
Digital spaces in discourse analysis. Interactive assistant digital spaces refer to online environments where individuals interact, communicate, and share information through various platforms, such as social media, forums, websites, and virtual classrooms. In discourse analysis, digital spaces are studied to understand how language is used in these environments to construct identities, shape interactions, and negotiate meaning. These spaces are unique because they often involve multimodal communication, text, images, videos, varying degrees of anonymity, and asynchronous or synchronous exchanges, which all influence how discourse unfolds. Discourse analysis in digital spaces explores how language functions within these contexts, focusing on how people communicate across digital platforms, how social norms are established, and how digital interactions reflect broader societal patterns of power, identity, and cultural practices. By studying language use in digital spaces, researchers can gain insights into how people create meaning and engage with one another in online environments. Key features of digital spaces in discourse analysis. 1. Multimodal communication. In digital spaces, communication often goes beyond text, incorporating multimodal elements like images, videos, emojis, GIFs, and hyperlinks. Discourse analysis in digital spaces looks at how these modes work together to create meaning and shape interaction. Example: on Instagram, a user might post a photo of a sunset with the caption, "Ending the day with peace, sunrise sparkles," and include emojis that reinforce the visual message. Discourse analysis would explore how the combination of visual elements, text, and emojis creates a mood and conveys meaning that goes beyond the words alone. 2. Identity construction and presentation. Digital spaces provide users with opportunities to construct and present different versions of their identity depending on the platform and audience. Discourse analysis examines how language is used to negotiate and perform identities in these online environments. Example: a LinkedIn user might describe themselves as an experienced marketing professional passionate about data-driven strategies, presenting a polished, professional identity. In contrast, the same user might post on Twitter, "So ready for the weekend. Cool #TGIF, crafting a more casual, personal identity." Discourse analysis would explore how language shifts between platforms to align with the expectations of different audiences and how individuals use these spaces to construct multiple facets of their identity. 3. Anonymity and power dynamics. In some digital spaces, users interact with varying levels of anonymity, which can affect the tone of conversation, the exercise of power, and how individuals express themselves. Discourse analysis looks at how anonymity shapes discourse, allowing users to engage in ways they might not in face-to-face interactions. Example: on anonymous platforms like Reddit, users might post candidly about personal issues or political opinions without fear of judgment. A user might write, "I don't agree with the current political situation, and here's why," without revealing their identity. Discourse analysis would explore how anonymity allows for more open or aggressive forms of discourse, and how power dynamics shift when identity is concealed. 4. Asynchronous and synchronous communication. Digital spaces offer both asynchronous communication, e.g., emails, forum posts, and synchronous communication, e.g., live chats, video calls, which affect how interactions unfold. Discourse analysis investigates how the timing of exchanges influences the structure of conversations and participant engagement. Example: in an asynchronous online discussion forum, a user might post a question, and responses might trickle in over several days. Discourse analysis would examine how the delayed nature of the conversation allows for more reflective, detailed responses, compared to synchronous interactions in a live chat, where the focus may be on immediacy rather than depth. 5. Community building and group identity. Digital spaces are often sites for community building, where people with shared interests, experiences, or goals come together to form online communities. Discourse analysis explores how language fosters a sense of belonging and constructs group identity within these spaces. Example: In a Facebook group for environmental activists, members might use language like, "We need to take action now," or "Let's share resources to support the cause," signaling collective responsibility and urgency. Discourse analysis would explore how these expressions of solidarity and shared purpose help build and sustain the community, reinforcing a collective identity centered around activism. 6. Hashtags and digital activism. Hashtags are powerful tools in digital spaces, allowing users to connect around specific topics or social movements. Discourse analysis examines how hashtags function as a form of discourse that organizes conversations, builds momentum for causes, and constructs online identities and communities. Example: on Twitter, the hashtag #MeToo has been used to share personal stories of sexual harassment and assault, creating a global movement. Discourse analysis would investigate how users employ this hashtag to align themselves with a social cause, create solidarity among survivors, and amplify voices that might otherwise be marginalized. 7. Algorithmic influence on discourse. The algorithms that shape content visibility on social media and digital platforms play a significant role in determining which voices and conversations gain prominence. Discourse analysis in digital spaces looks at how algorithms influence what is discussed, who participates, and how discourse is shaped by these technological structures. Example: on platforms like Facebook, users might be exposed primarily to content that aligns with their previous likes or shares, reinforcing certain viewpoints and limiting exposure to alternative perspectives. Discourse analysis would examine how these algorithmic structures create echo chambers or filter bubbles, influencing the types of discourse that dominate digital spaces and shaping users' perceptions of social issues. Methods for analyzing digital spaces in discourse. 1. Multimodal discourse analysis. Multimodal discourse analysis focuses on how different semiotic resources, text, images, videos, emojis, work together to create meaning in digital spaces. This method is useful for studying platforms where visual and textual elements are deeply intertwined, such as Instagram, TikTok, or Snapchat. Example: on Instagram, a user might post a photo with the caption, "Finally made it." Globe sparkles #travel goals, accompanied by a selfie and location tag. Multimodal discourse analysis would explore how the image, caption, emoji, and hashtag interact to construct a narrative of achievement and adventure, shaping how the user's identity and experience are perceived by others. 2. Critical discourse analysis, CDA. Critical discourse analysis, CDA, is used to examine how power, ideology, and social inequalities are reflected in language in digital spaces. CDA investigates how dominant discourses are maintained or challenged in online interactions and how digital platforms shape public discourse. Example: a CDA of YouTube comments on a political video might reveal how language is used to reinforce nationalist ideologies or how marginalized voices are silenced or dismissed. The analysis would focus on how power dynamics play out in the comments section and how the platform's design, e.g., likes, upvotes, influences which voices are amplified. 3. Conversation analysis. Conversation analysis examines the structure of digital interactions, focusing on how participants manage turn-taking, respond to one another, and maintain coherence in conversations that may be asynchronous or multimodal. Example: in a live chat during a webinar, conversation analysis might look at how participants signal when they want to speak, how interruptions are handled, and how the host manages the flow of conversation. The analysis would focus on how these interactional norms differ in digital settings compared to face-to-face conversations. 4. Corpus linguistics. Corpus linguistics involves analyzing large datasets of text from digital spaces to identify patterns, trends, and recurring themes in language use. This method is particularly useful for studying discourse across multiple platforms or tracking language use over time. Example: a corpus linguistics study of tweets containing the hashtag climate change might analyze thousands of tweets to identify common phrases like urgent action, sustainability, or policy change. The analysis would focus on how these terms reflect dominant discourses around climate change and how they evolve over time in response to global events. Examples of digital spaces in discourse analysis. Example 1. Identity construction in social media profiles. On professional platforms like LinkedIn, users often construct a carefully curated professional identity. A user might write, results-driven project manager with 10+ years of experience in leading cross-functional teams, using formal language to signal competence and professionalism. Discourse analysis would explore how language is used to craft a professional persona and how the platform's design encourages this kind of identity presentation. Example 2. Multimodal interaction on TikTok. TikTok videos often combine music, text overlays, and performance to create short, impactful content. A user might post a video lip-syncing to a popular song while text flashes on the screen, narrating a funny or relatable situation. Discourse analysis would examine how these various modes, music, video, and text, work together to convey humor and build engagement with the audience. Example 3. Hashtag activism on Twitter. In movements like hashtag Black Lives Matter, hashtags are used to connect users around issues of racial justice. A user might tweet, "We stand together for justice. Hashtag Black Lives Matter," using the hashtag to align with the cause and amplify the message. Discourse analysis would investigate how the hashtag creates solidarity, builds momentum, and connects individual voices to a larger social movement. Example 4. Conflict and power in online gaming communities. In online gaming forums, conflict often arises over gameplay strategies or in-game behavior. A player might post, "You need to stop camping and play the game properly," sparking a debate over acceptable playstyles. Discourse analysis would explore how language is used to assert authority, challenge others, and negotiate community norms around gaming etiquette. Example 5. Knowledge sharing in online health communities. In digital health communities, users often exchange advice and personal experiences about medical conditions. A post in a diabetes forum might read, "Has anyone tried switching to a low-carb diet? I've found it helps manage my blood sugar better." Discourse analysis would examine how language is used to share knowledge, how authority is constructed through personal experience, and how community members validate or challenge one another's advice. Challenges in analyzing digital spaces through discourse. 1. Rapidly changing language and platforms. Digital spaces evolve quickly, with new platforms, slang, and modes of communication emerging regularly. Discourse analysts must keep pace with these changes to accurately capture how language is used and how it reflects shifting social norms. 2. Multimodality. The combination of text, images, videos, and other modes in digital spaces makes it challenging to analyze all elements comprehensively. Discourse analysts must consider how different semiotic resources work together to convey meaning and how these elements are interpreted by different audiences. 3. Algorithmic influence. The algorithms that govern visibility and engagement on digital platforms can shape the discourse in ways that are difficult to observe directly. Discourse analysts must account for how these algorithms affect who participates in conversations and which voices are amplified or marginalized. Conclusion. Digital spaces offer unique opportunities for communication, identity construction, and community building, and discourse analysis provides valuable insights into how language functions in these environments. By examining multimodal communication, identity negotiation, anonymity, and the influence of algorithms, discourse analysis reveals the complexities of interaction in digital spaces. Whether analyzing social media activism, professional networking, or online gaming communities, discourse analysis helps us understand how digital environments shape the ways people communicate, share knowledge, and engage with the world around them. Through this lens, we can better appreciate how digital discourse reflects and influences broader social, cultural, and political processes. Frequently asked questions. What are digital spaces in the context of discourse analysis? Digital spaces refer to online environments where communication occurs, such as social media platforms, forums, websites, and virtual classrooms. These spaces facilitate interaction through text, images, videos, and other multimedia formats, making them key sites for studying language use and communication patterns. Why is discourse analysis important for studying digital spaces? Discourse analysis helps uncover how language is used to shape interactions, construct identities, and create meaning in digital environments. It reveals the norms, power dynamics, and cultural practices that influence communication in these spaces and provides insights into how digital platforms reflect and reinforce broader social and political trends. How does multimodality affect discourse in digital spaces? Multimodality in digital spaces means communication often combines text, images, videos, emojis, and more. Discourse analysis examines how these different elements interact to convey meaning, add depth, and influence how messages are interpreted by audiences. What role does identity construction play in digital spaces? Digital spaces allow users to construct and present identities tailored to different audiences. For example, a person may present a formal, professional identity on LinkedIn and a more relaxed, personal identity on Instagram. Discourse analysis explores how language choices signal these identities and adapt based on platform norms and user expectations. How do power dynamics manifest in digital communication? Power dynamics in digital spaces can be influenced by platform structures, user anonymity, and the roles individuals play, e.g., moderators versus regular users. Discourse analysis investigates how language reflects these dynamics, who holds authority, and how conflicts or compliance are managed in online communities. What is the impact of anonymity on online discourse? Anonymity allows users to express opinions or personal experiences without the constraints of real-world identity, often leading to more candid or aggressive communication. Discourse analysis studies how anonymity shapes interactions, power relations, and the tone of discourse in digital environments. What challenges are faced in analyzing digital spaces? Challenges include rapidly changing platforms and language trends. Digital spaces evolve quickly, requiring analysts to stay updated. Multimodality. Analyzing combined text, images, and videos adds complexity. Algorithmic influence. Algorithms can shape which voices are amplified or marginalized, affecting discourse visibility. How do algorithms influence digital discourse? Algorithms determine content visibility, influencing which topics gain traction and who participates in conversations. Discourse analysis considers these technological influences to understand how algorithms shape discussions, create echo chambers, or limit diverse viewpoints. Can discourse analysis be applied to specific digital communities? Yes, discourse analysis can study language use in online groups, such as fan communities, professional networks, or activist movements. It explores how members communicate, build identity, enforce norms, and share knowledge, revealing the social dynamics and values of these communities. What methods are commonly used to analyze discourse in digital spaces? Multimodal discourse analysis examines how text, images, and other elements work together. Critical discourse analysis, CDA, investigates power and ideology in digital communication. Conversation analysis studies the structure and flow of interactions. Corpus linguistics analyzes large datasets to identify language patterns and trends.